because now it's like you said you had an interview with Moves Method when?
Today at 12, like after 6 hours.
Go. You excited?
For sure, I'm excited.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Elias. What's up, guy?
What's up?
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Fantastic. The Oilers won last night in overtime. Don't want the Panthers to win. I don't have a jersey on today. We're going a little bit of prep school, Corbin, because I'm going to put on a bit of a class. I expected more people to be here or to be trickling in. But just for you two to see, I was going to show like my calendar, what I would do at what times on the calendar, and then have a doc customized whether you're on B2B or B2C, like what that looks like what you would say, or kind of what like your cadence would look like to maximize your conversations. Because a lot of times, if you're the business owner, it's dials. You need dials. If it's marketing, it's I need data. So they both think like if you make 1 billion dials, we get all the data. It's like, well, yeah, but if you call everyone at times that they don't answer, then what's it worth? Like, what does that do? Doesn't really do anything. So how can you have the maximum amount of dials or touch points on your leads and not have to work like 14 hours a day or feel like you have to make yourself extremely available during the day? And Bill and Vicky, hello. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Just stepped out of a meeting, sector meeting, so I'm here.
And right into another one, as it
Yes,
usually happens.
yes, yes.
Well, nice to finally meet you. I've known Tamer and Elias for a while now. We were just kind of breaking down what I wanted to go over today, as a few more folks are trickling in right now.
All right. Awesome. Nice to
Maximiliano,
meet you.
nice to meet
Sorry.
you. No, nice to meet you as well. Oh, let me let the
Uh,
note takers in here. And Bill, Maximiliano, what's going on, fellas?
Uh, can you hear me?
I can. Hey, what's up, Bill?
Yeah, this is my first time being on one of your live calls, and yeah, excited
Right.
to
It's
hear what
nice
you
to
have
see you.
to say.
Nice to put a name to the face and a voice to the face as well. How are you today?
Me, right now it's like 12 p.m., but yeah, I'm still excited for this call.
Heck yeah. Well, we were going to do a high level breakdown of what I did specifically, the timing, the cadence, kind of the why behind it. I have a bit of a filter between B2B and B2C, depending on the offer you're on. There are just like a slight differences in the cadence that work better for some and not as good for others. So I was going to share my screen. This is recorded. You guys will leave with the recording, with the documents, with any screenshots of the calendar that you would like, and to frame why I'm doing this. Dude, we're in June. We're getting to like the end of what? Quarter two? Yeah. So like quarter three, quarter four, huge months of the year. So how do you prep for that? You have to have a huge month. It's not just a week. It's not a weekend. It's not a couple, like an entire month where you're in the season of life. Like I'm going to make this happen because you're going to have a ton of follow-ups then in July and August and September because you're putting in the work this month, right? But what does that look like? And so Elias and Tamer, when you were in here before, I'll preface this from Maximiliano, Bill, Vicky, and anyone else who's going to watch the recording. If you're a business owner, you just want to see dials. So if you're a setter, you're like, I hate you. No, I don't want to call 1,000 people today. And that's okay. Because if you're marketing, you need data. So if you put those together, they think if you make 1 million calls and get all the data, everything's figured out. We can fix the puzzle. But if you're not calling people at the right time, and when you get on that conversation, whether it's a DM or a phone call, if you're not handling it in the right way, like imagine everyone that you talk to, you set and they close. Well, it doesn't matter if you talk to 500 people that day. Well, that'd be freaking awesome because you had 500 closes that day. But that's really unrealistic. But if you connected with 10 people and set all 10 of them and 9 of them closed, that's way more important than like, hey, look at how many freaking dials I made today, right? So I was going to show you what that looks like and how I collected about 450K in cash myself from a DM setting role from like exactly what I'm showing you guys today. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand Anything like that, just please. This is more open forum. I really want to go through this as quickly as I can, so I can have more of an open forum at the end to answer any specific questions you have. Dimitri, welcome. You missed a bit of my intro. I don't want to redo it again. Tamer's gonna
No,
be like
don't
third time. Also, this is
worry
not
about it.
healthy. This is not healthy. I do not advocate for drinking a Celsius, but I have a lot to do today, so here we are. Okay. So first is going to be the calendar, because this is the most important thing. Maximizing your time, how you spend your time. So again, okay, let me reframe. This is what worked really well for me and how I had the capacity to manage my time in this way. I don't have any kids. I have a fiance. I have a husky. I'm in an apartment. I don't have any crazy like other obligations that would limit my ability to do this. So work around this as you see fit, but understand this is more of a framework of what you can do and how you can maximize that as a whole. Pick a weekend day that you want to work. Do not work the other weekend. Let me stop my share and say that again. I don't care if you want to work 7 days a week, 14 hours a day, and be the biggest, baddest dude, lady on whatever on the block. If you have a full day to reset, recharge, not think about work, the next 6 days you do work are so much better. Please take 24 hours off. Don't care when it is. Make it a weekend day. For me, I take Saturdays off. But a lot of people on Sundays, that's like a church family day. If you want to take Sundays off, great. I would advocate for doing one of the two working and one not. I could not stress that enough. Ben, what's going on?
How are you, Korbin?
Doing fantastic. We're going to go
Good.
as high level as I can, as quickly as I can, so you guys have the recording and the documents, and we can open forum at the end. So if it were me, I'm not going to make this too convoluted. And I'm not going to go into like personal schedule, my workout routine, my diet, what I do. Like that doesn't really matter. This is for setting, maximizing conversations, collecting the most cash, helping marketing, helping the business owner, like having the best damn month that you can. So if it were me on Sunday, I'm in Central Time. People probably aren't going to answer in the morning or the super early afternoon. Imagine you go to church, imagine you go to brunch, imagine you got time with your family, imagine your kids got a soccer tournament or a t-ball tournament, or you got dance class or something, right? I'm not going to touch any leads before 2 p.m. my time. And I'm going to put a good 4 hours in. And so what do you do in that time? Right? So let's just say Sunday leads. So if this was B2B Sunday or Saturday, 4 hours from 2 to 6 Central. Okay, so what are you going to do between 2 and 6? Just because you're working, right? Like, what does that mean? How do you work from 2 to 6 on Sunday? Because that's the only time I'm working, right? You're going to have all new leads from Friday afternoon to whenever you log in, right? That makes sense? Because your speed to lead during the week, if you're here on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, someone ring like, hey, ring, what's up, guy, girl, how can I help you? But if it's on a Friday, and we'll get to that later, but Friday afternoon to Sunday or Saturday, you have more speed to lead than waiting until Monday, and then you wake up late, and then the person and people you're trying to call are at work already, and you miss an opportunity because you waited so dang long for that first interaction. So I would start with all new leads Friday afternoon, right? From there, you're going to have people that are on the calendar on Monday. Whether it's a set that you set last week, there's someone you set on Sunday, anything in between, right? A call that booked through an ad that ended up on the calendar, right? So you're going to want to get like a temp check or like, hey, make sure all leads on calendar have a touch point. What does a touch point mean? Well, some people are like, well, dial them. I don't know that I would just dial somebody 24 hours before their call on a Sunday. If I could just send them like kind of a a cool text real quick and get a response. And then the next morning, be like, hey, did you not see my text yesterday? You might have been busy. And then I'll double dial them. I won't double dial on a Sunday for that specifically. But what I would send to make sure leads have touch points that are on Monday is what's going, oh my gosh, can I type? What's going on name? Korbin here. Real quick. Did you want me to text your link over for X time? Or did you want me to email it instead? Either way, let me know. Either ors. If you've been to my calls before, love either ors. It makes it easy for someone else. Like, hey, do you want strawberry or vanilla? Damn, I'll take vanilla. Cool, here you go. Instead of like anything else other than that, just make it what it is. So Sunday, you have new leads that came in from Friday to that time. Or if it's Saturday, same thing. And then you want to make sure anyone on the calendar has a touch point. They know that that time's there because Monday's the biggest day of the week. And so the specific thing that I have a template for in almost every CRM and every offer that I've worked for, this is phenomenal. So it's like, hey, I forgot. Did you want me to text your link over at this time? Or should I send it in an email? It's not like giving them an option. It's like, well, how do you want this? You're going to get one of 3 options or one of 3 answers. Yeah, text me it. Great. Cool. Confirmed. Email it. Yep, perfect. Or hey, both. Right? And so from there, first thing in the morning, I got you. And then I would put something on the calendar for the first thing in the morning. It's like, hey, get all Zoom links texted and emailed. So that way you have a touch point on them in the morning, you have a touch point on them on the weekend. They know like who you are, you talk to them, they're like you set their expectations, it wasn't too much. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions on like the Sunday to Monday at all? Cool. So on Monday, well, what are you going to do? It's the biggest day of the week. You got all the leads from the weekend, you got follow-ups. I would be working from 7 to noon. Why? Most people have more time and a more positive attitude before shenanigans happen with their workday. And that's why most people don't answer from the time they finish lunch till the end of the day, because they have to finish all of their shit that's at work that day, right? So this is like flow state for me. Well, what does flow state mean? Monday, 7 to 12 p.m. Central, yeah, CST. Dialing every single lead in the first hour, 8 to 9 a.m. of their time zone. So at 7 a.m., I'm calling the people at 8 a.m. Eastern. Because legally, you're not supposed to, with CRMs, I believe, call people before 8 a.m. their time or after 8 p.m. So max dials, Eastern time, 8 a.m. for them. So 8 a.m. for me. Oh, that's Central time. Perfect. Let me rip Central dials. You might be like, well, Korbin, how do you know what time zone they're in? Pull up this, go to Google, literally have area code typed in, and just type in the first 3 digits of the area code before every single call. And if you get someone at 7 a.m. and you're like, shoot, you're in Alaska right now? I probably shouldn't call you till it's like 8 a.m. Alaska time. Then go to your calendar, go to noon, put a reminder and say, hey, call Alaska and Hawaii folks. So you have a reminder for yourself, like, hey, I'm not going to call these people right now, but I know when I am. So in your CRMs, you should be able to organize the leads based on how new they are and what time zone they are in. So you can like have consistent, like concerted effort with those leads. Does that make sense? From noon to 1. Well, we know that.
Regarding this.
What's going on, Tamer?
Well, basically, I'm based in Germany, so the time for me right now is 6 p.m.
Mhm.
So how can I make sure to not make any mistake regarding the time zones there? Like, is there any kind of application, or I can use a chat GPT or something? Like, any thoughts about it?
There will always be tools that you can have, that you can acquire, that you can ask for from leadership or a business owner that will help you specifically with what you need. That's a bit more high level for the intent of what I wanted the framework to be today, is just showing you like how I organize my time and what I do with that time specifically and how well it worked for me. So if you are having a time constraint in the sense of that's really late or really early or a goofy time for me, scheduling messages to go out through your CRM would be a really powerful tool so that you don't necessarily have to be there. You just want to give them that either or. And if they haven't responded by the time you get back, then you call them. That would maybe be more of a you looming me what your process looks like and me like high level looming you back to show you what I would do specifically. But that's a phenomenal question. And a lot of folks are going to have that same thing. So if anyone's in a goofy time zone relative to what I'm asking you to do here, let me know. We can break that down in a different way as well. So Sunday, new leads from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you want to have a touch point on everyone on Monday. And then Monday morning, dial for 5 hours because that's where you're going to get the most people to answer. And do you want to call people to just like send a screenshot to your buddies in Slack and be like, hey, I have more dials than you? Great. I don't care. I have way more sets than you. I have 3 hours of talk time before lunch. So take your $200 to the bank. I'll take my 52 in 3 hours of talk time. That's such a huge difference. So if we know people aren't really going to answer this time from like 12 to 4, well, what are we going to do? How can we get more people to answer? Let me back up and do the glasses off thing, guys. A lot of people are thinking like, you take 4 hours off in the middle of your day. Well, dude, imagine sitting in a store being a receptionist when you know no one is going to call you. What are you going to do with your time? You're going to sit there. You're going to stress out about like conversations you wish that went better. You're going to be stressing out about when people are going to get back to you. You got KPIs, you got leadership, you got messages, you got your own personal stuff going on. So if you're going to sit there for 4 hours, like you're ready to start a race, like over that 4 hours, you're going to have so much less energy to maximize the back half of the day when people do answer. This might seem crazy. I promise it's not. How do you maximize that though? If I'm taking a 4 hour break in the middle of my day, most of you will have this capacity with the CRM. Some of you will not and will have to do it manually. That's okay. I would send a text blast to past X day leads. You can schedule a text to go out with just a whatever the verbiage is that your script, your offer would need it to say. And the goal is that when you get back and work from like 4 to 7, anyone who raised their hand from the text blast that might have missed you in the morning or might have missed you the other day, you're going to have an inbox full of messages. That's who you start calling right when you get back. So inbox management from text blast. And then there's going to be new leads from some people that maybe don't work, maybe have a bit more time, that opt in during this time. Well, guess what? Now you're recharged, refresh. You know how much I could do in 4 hours for myself? That's so selfish. I could take 2 naps, guys. I could take 2 naps. And when I come back and you're at the end of your day and I'm that bubbly, energetic, I'm going to help you. Like that conversation is going to go so much better rather than, oh my gosh, finally someone to talk to. Huh, how are you? I mean, I'm making it. Like, no one wants to have a conversation like that. Like, maybe with your buddy that you haven't talked to in a long time, not with people you're trying to help. So you're taking a 4 hour break, you're sending a text, and when people raise their hand when you get back, sidebar, how much authority does that have when someone texts you back to a 12 o'clock text blast at 12:04 and you don't text them back till 4 o'clock? Like, hey, sorry, I was busy, had stuff going on. I can help you now, though. If you're available all the time, how much authority do you really have? Does that make sense? Awesome. Now, if you did that Monday through Friday, every single day of the week, just 7 to 12, first hour of every day. Hey, good mother loving morning. Right? And that way you have the most touch points with the most time in the rest of the day for them to respond. And then before you go take your 4-hour 2 nap like Korbin does, don't do that. I don't actually take 2 naps. This is trying to be funny. Do whatever you want, like recharge. Don't answer the phone. If you're in the season of life where you're like, Korbin, I can crack knuckles and work 14 hours a day, great. Then make yourself available for those 4 hours, but just don't be at your computer. If someone calls you, use your phone. Like be away, be outside, go do something. So that way every morning you feel recharged, every afternoon you feel recharged. You have texts in place, so you're getting people to raise their hand. You're maximizing your morning. And you should do that every single day. Imagine working really hard for 5 hours and then getting to go home for 4 hours from work. And the energy that you have when you come back for the last like 3-4 hours of the day. And then by the way, you're catching people when they're done with work. They don't have anything else to do. Like, hey, we survived the day. That's equally as fun of a conversation to have. So as far as the calendar, I saw a lot of you guys taking notes. I saw a lot of heads going yes. But is there any questions about how I structure my calendar specifically, as far as like times and how I focus those times? Ben, are you sure? Okay, cool. So if you did that consistently for an entire month straight, think about it. You're super consistent in like your say-do ratio because you're getting to everyone first thing in the morning. You're giving them the most time to respond back. You're having texts that go out throughout the week that are like, hey, are you still thinking about this at all? Did you find out what you were looking for? Have you spoken with anyone on our team yet? Did you see all these testimonials? Did you see all these cool things that happened? I bet not, because I haven't heard from you. And we can get into that later. But as far as the framework of like how I spend my time and why I do what I do, did that make sense? Awesome. I'm not going to do the whole ones in the chat. I get it. I can see you guys. We're good. Cool. So from there, it's, okay, well, what do you say to these people? Ben, you motherfucker. What do you say to these people, right? Like, when do you say, what do you say, how do you say? Like, okay, let's break that down. You already saw what I would say on Sunday, or excuse me, all the leads on the calendar that have a touch point on Monday. I'd be like, hey, real quick, we'll underline that. You want me to text your link over for that time? Or did you want me to email it instead? So you're getting it, like, that's what I would say on the weekend. Or even like, hey, Vicky, let's just say I set you for Thursday this upcoming week, like next week. I would send this text to you on Wednesday, about 24 hours before your call.
Yeah, I have one small objection for you.
Let's do it. This is the role play.
Yeah, because it's
Cannot be price. Don't tell me it's a price.
no.
I'm gonna kick Adolfo out if he does that again. Sorry, guys. Wait, where was I? Damn it, Adolfo. Anyways,
If you set somebody on the Thursday, you're going to send that exact text message out 24 hours before on Wednesday.
yes. So that's why my calendar looks crazy. So if I have calls at every hour of every day, like, you know what I mean? Like if this is what the calendar looks like, I'm going to put a 15-minute right here and just say call to confirm X or text to confirm or whatever that looks like. So that I can see it on my calendar. I live by my calendar. My say-do ratio is extremely high because when I tell myself and someone else I'm going to do something, I now have to honor 2 different people. I'm not letting one of them down. So if I do that to not let myself down, I'm not letting the other person down either. So text X person about email or text link, link, either way. So you can manage your day by understanding what you're doing But then you can also keep a track on what's going on in the day in advance by just sending that quick text out. Then you don't have to dial a whole bunch. Like you keep all your P's and Q's, everything's in order. But what would you say in like a text blast? Or how would you have like your cadence set up on Monday morning? Like how would you dial? Would you text first? Would you leave a voicemail? Would you not? What I would do if this was B2B, what I would do. Dial 8 a.m. Text. Hey, name Korbin here. This is me calling real quick. Dial again. Leave voicemail if no answer. Text after voicemail that you left one. Let me know when you had a second to listen. Why I do that is because, guys, there are a lot of people that are just super busy. And even me, myself, like if you call me twice and don't leave a voicemail, it must not be important because you didn't need to tell me why it is that you called. A lot of people think that way. And just like today, Vicky, when you joined the call, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking to you for a little bit now. I finally have a name and a voice and I know who Vicky is. Like you're kind of doing the same thing for people who might not know who you are. So it's like, hey, this is Korbin with XYZ Company. I saw your application come through over the weekend. Wanted to make sure I had some time to help. Appreciate you being patient. I've been stuck with meetings all day. Let me know when you have a second to listen to this. Text me back at this number. We can go from there. Have that as a voicemail drop and just voicemail drop that to everyone right after that second dial. Like you don't have to sit there and say the same thing every time for 45 seconds, right? So that's what I would do in B2B right away. If it was B2C, oh, if anybody knows who Jake Ferry is, because it's so good. I can't not. It's so good. Dial twice. Text. Hey, just tried calling. Clawing. Might not be a bad time to try again. They text back. Who is this? Call a third time. Imagine someone double dialed you and then they texted you and like, hey, just tried calling. Like, are you gonna answer or not? I was like, who's this? They call you a third time? You're probably gonna answer that phone call. And then the frame is, yeah, it's just so much easier to help like answer your questions over the phone. My name is Jake Ferry. I'm with XYZ Company. You filled out an application yesterday, right? Yeah, that has to ring a bell. Yeah, it was yesterday, right? But however you want to frame that, I'm not going to go on a super tangent with that. But if you're B2C, that works really well most of the time. If you're B2B, dial, text, dial, voicemail, text.
Where can I find that?
Where can you find what?
That framework?
In the document that I
dials?
put together to share with you at the end of this call.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And a lot of this is going to be in the course as well. Not sure how clear and concise it is. That's why I'm trying to have like a recording in a doc and a calendar to share with everyone that gives and expresses more of the understanding of the overview instead of me just being like, hey, this is what worked, boom. See the screenshot. Like that doesn't make a ton of sense for me. Because I want you to understand why I did all those things. Because after you have 5 days in a row, guess what? You might have people that text you back on Saturday or Sunday that were working during the week. You have a voicemail, you have a text, you have a couple different texts. You're not available 100% of the time when they call back. Like all of these things are conducive to you having authority, to you having strong positioning, and to you still doing what you need to do to maximize your input with your dials. Now, some of you, I understand, have to dial a lot of times in 24 or 48 hours. And if you have to do that, great. I would have a tracker of when I dialed that person, or like a whiteboard, or have a mark of like just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever the case may be. I don't call people more than 8 times or 10 times in a week. So if Monday, no answer. Tuesday afternoon, I try again. If no Tuesday, I try Thursday, maybe Friday. Then ghost text or funny text following Monday. So if I double dialed them on Monday morning, sent them the voicemail, the text, no answer, cool. Well, why would I try again on Tuesday morning if they didn't answer Monday morning? For me, I would try at a different time. Just makes sense. So Tuesday afternoon, ring, ring, hello. Dimitri, are you gonna answer? Nope, Dimitri's busy too. Damn. So I didn't catch Dimitri on Monday morning. I didn't catch Dimitri on Tuesday afternoon. Well, guess what? He's got 4 dials, 2 voicemails, or 2 texts, or 4 texts of like, here's who I am, here's why I'm calling. I get it. I have so many people that blow up my phone all the time. I'm only calling because you haven't answered me. And if you were in my last call, I love the crazy ex text like, hey, I'm not trying to be that crazy ex from high school, but you're kind of making it seem that way right now by not answering me. And so I would send that maybe like Friday or Monday. I wouldn't like lead with that. But if I tried Monday, I tried Tuesday, like, okay, Wednesday, maybe he's just super busy to start the week. Thursday morning, try again. And then Friday, like, I usually send a happy Friday text. Like, blink once if you're okay, blink twice if you need me to come help you. Haha, right? Like, people don't get texts like that. So when they see that, they're more likely to respond. I'm sure you guys have all seen messages that come through like, damn, that was a pretty good one-liner. I'm going to respond to that. It happens. But the consistency that goes with this, and speed to lead on the weekends, and being there in the morning and available when you need to be. Right? Like, you can have things on your phone, you can help on Slack, you can do things in the 4 hours you're not here, you can help the closers. But if you were to work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day for 6 days a week, in 3 weeks, I'm going to see you on this call. And if it's anything like what I had to deal with, you're going to be like, Korbin, I'm SpongeBob. I have no water. I need it right now. Like, I need it. I need help. And so how do you not need help? You structure your day to have a break, to have simplicity, but to have a high level of execution at the times that you make yourself available. Giving yourself reminders for what's going on at that time the next day. And then having these texts, these dial cadences, and these follow-up cadences to maximize to have as many conversations as you possibly can. Is there anything in that breakdown and me rambling for 33 minutes that you feel like I maybe should have covered, should have added to that? Is that pretty comprehensive? Does anyone have anything? And if not, that's okay too. Oh, Jimmy Lighty. Oh, I'm gonna mispronounce Vika's name. Vika's? Dang. Samar's here. What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining. Like my guy Jimmy over here. We had to have a dial record day just to prove a point that making the most dials doesn't necessarily move the fucking needle. I get passionate about this.
At all.
My call. I can swear if I want. Don't tell Matt. I watched Jimmy make 500 dials without a power dialer in a single day. Jimmy, how many people answered the phone? I'm so happy you showed up so we could use this right now. Sorry to call you out. You had a horrible day. I tried to cheer you up as best I could with a funny.
Not many. And the ones that did answer, they was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more.
And were you the only person on the team that made 500 dials that day?
No, it was
Oh,
Michael Folsom.
damn. How many sets did he get? Wait, you mean Michael Folsom made 500 dials? The setter manager who'd been there for a year and who'd collected like $3 million in 10 months? He made 500 dials and got 0 sets.
He had like 2, but he was doing the inbound calls too. Like 2
Oh,
or
so
3.
he had inbound 500, outbound only got 2 sets.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Is that because he could only work from like 8 to 4?
I don't know. I know he had a lot of stuff because he also has to look over the whole setter team and stuff like that. But he definitely had, a good amount on his plate. But for him to do that while doing that was pretty impressive.
Extremely impressive. And the point that I was trying to make is like, okay, you can't do that every day unless you have a power dialer. And if you were to do that every day and have no conversations, imagine calling people outside of the times that you tried calling people and nobody answered. That's like me knocking on your door every day between 9 and 5. Like, hey, dude, I'm at work. No one's home. Not answering the door. Sorry. But if I was coming by like 5, 6, 7 o'clock, maybe I had an extra button down on my shirt. Maybe I was a little bit funnier. I was like, hey, did you survive the day? Because I just did. Now I finally have time to see if I can help you. Is this a better time now that we're outside of the shenanigans of what happened today? Oh my gosh, Korbin, you'd never believe what happened today. Ring, ring. Dude, tell me about it. What happened today? People are willing to have conversations when they don't have a lot of shenanigans going on. Shenanigans happen between lunch and the end of the day, normally. So if you make 500 dials, be a setter manager on the team, you could be handsome like Jimmy and one of the best setters in the game and make 500 dials, and it doesn't necessarily matter. You could also make 50 dials, have conversations with 40 of them, and everyone's like, how'd you have 50 dials today? Were you lazy? And they look at your talk time, you have 4 hours of talk time. That's so much more powerful and sends so much more of a message and sets the tone. And the consistency of that for an entire month, the amount of text that you have, the amount of like getting your hand raised from other people to call them. You're taking a weekend off, you're taking basically the afternoon off, so you're not like working like crazy. Right? Desiree, what's going on? We're kind of breaking down what I helped you with a couple weeks ago, but just putting it more together so that it works universally. Do you have any
Okay,
updates
cool.
on how things ended off the month over there with your closes and stuff?
It was awesome. Yeah, I had I think 10 closed sets and 9 or 10 closes for myself. So
You put up a double-double? You got 10 closes and 10 sets closed? Damn.
something like that. I had 19 like set closes. So like 10 of them were from my closer and then 9 of them I think were from me. So I was like 1 off of 20.
Let's go. That's super exciting.
Yes, it
extremely-
was. And then the whole company is basically on vacation this week. I'm going on vacation next week, but everyone's on vacation, so we're not running any ads. Like it's been dead this week. But it's nice to have a little break after the big month last month.
Oh, absolutely. And for the others who don't get to go on a break, who are going to ramp up this month, that's what we were doing here. And we were putting together a higher level overview of how to use your time, what to do during the time that you're here, and how important it is to take time away. And then what I would say at each time and what message I would send, or kind of what my cadence looks like or looked like on that offer. Or if you're on B2C. And so from here, gosh, I got through that way faster than I thought. I'm almost proud of myself. For anyone who knows me a bit more than just outside this call, I'm like, it's 12:20, we're 20 minutes past, and I'm still here helping. So from this point on, is there anything pressing? Is there anything everyone's like, oh, I have a question on this, I need help on this? Or maybe not. Is there anything going on that anyone wants to bring up at this point in time? Because that's kind of what I had for you today, and I'll make sure everyone had. Let me get the doc to share right now. Let me put it in the chat.
I'd love some like help kind of support around like how do you even go about like doing like one of those database resets? Like I don't know where to start in our 18,000 leads, how to even like sort it out.
Well, that's a great question. Remind me of what CRM you're using again, HubSpot?
What's HubSpot? Yeah.
You're using HubSpot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. total transparency, I've never had to use HubSpot personally, but I'm assuming that there's a capability to filter the leads.
Yes.
So, how to sort out leads for data reactivation / text blasts. Really kind of tomato, potato, like same thing. How to sort those out. So if it were me, I want the lowest hanging fruit or the highest intent possible people. And so you would want to filter it by someone who's either purchased, because you have the webinar, right, that they can purchase and attend. So you would want to focus on any low ticket purchases or previous convos. Because previous convos, you have context. You can kind of poke them, nudge them on the shoulder. Hey, remember me? So that's a little bit easier to have more conversations, more of like a succinct message you send to multiple people if you have had multiple conversations. Like, hey, I remember we spoke in this. What has changed for the better, for the worse? I'm not 100% sure with your marketing offer, like what that would look like for you, but I would focus on anyone who purchased or anyone where you have context from previous conversations. So if that would filter, so filter by booked or whatever you have for like purchased, closed, whatever that looks like inside of the funnel or the operational side. And then you would want to focus on anyone in the last week or so that's like fresher, newer with a perspective. So 1 week old or like date created less than 1 week ago. And then you would want to have one for anything for that month and then anything past that month. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you can
that's a really good idea. Just sort by like months.
exactly 30 days or less past 30 days.
Yeah, because I like kind of like blasted and I feel like exhausted everybody that's came in like the last 2 months from the big webinar event we just had. So I was wondering like, but that's a good idea, sort out by months, like kind of previous to that.
Absolutely. And from there, really important what you're sending. And I'll stop my share here because I can't stress this enough. Like, if you're in sales and every time you called someone, they answered, and every time they answered, you did not drop that phone call, that's when you're the best. But like, I'm sure you guys have, just like I have, like you're on the phone with someone and you think you have it, you're too buddy, or you fall into someone else's frame, or an A-type takes control. Something happens and you're like, oh, I should have set that person. They were a really good prospect and now I didn't. And now I have to review that call and why I didn't. Well, if the energy you have is dialing 400 people a day and then getting to that point in the conversation with one person, that's really tough to deal with. So if you're going to have as many conversations as you can, as consistently as you can, when they're available, that's where you're making the most difference. And Desiree, for you, you have so much proof from all the videos, all the screenshots, all the everything that you guys have done on the fulfillment side. So I'd start sharing that with people and showing them like, hey, did you see any of our new clients and how they saw success in this timeline? Or whatever you're going to do to create more au revoir around why you're reaching out, why they were interested in the first place. So yeah, always having a filter on your leads and creating something slightly customized to how long it was, why they were interested, any context that you have, that'll be the most important for sure.
Okay, I think before too, they mentioned something like, have you thought about, like we have a testing offer, have you thought about doing any more testing lately? Instead of like, are you interested in, kind of more like, have you been thinking about? So it's less direct as well.
Oh, infinitely. Matt Moore loves that one, guys. If you're ever saying like, hey,
Okay.
checking in, like, oh, I don't do that. But hey, were you still thinking about this at all? Like, well, I was still thinking about it. Cool. Ring, ring. What were you thinking about? Like, maybe I can help. I don't have all the cards, but I have some of them. And I can show you what I know, but you'd have to speak with a specialist to really understand. And I don't want to waste your time with a specialist if this really isn't for you. So we're going to play a game of 20 questions. It's really like 4. And then we can get to the end, right? Like you can do whatever you want with that. I'm obviously a little bit more goofy. I've done a lot of calls. I can riff pretty well in improv, but that's beside the point. You will get to a point where you feel really comfortable with that as well. And guys, making people laugh is kind of like building trust. Like kind of. It's like a key that unlocks a door to the real door that you need to unlock in building trust. And if someone can share a laugh with you, it's kind of like the walls come down, like, oh, let's see what this person's all about. So that's why I lean with that. And a lot of my content is the ghost memes, the follow up, the like, you didn't respond to my last text, but you're going to respond to this Drake meme because it made you laugh. Like I send that all the time. It's so old. I will send people Star Trek memes. And then right after that, text them, damn, you're probably a Star Wars fan, aren't you? Because it's like pop culture, it's funny. And if they were a Star Trek fan, they're going to respond and be like, nope, hate Star Wars, love Star Trek. Be like, damn, I got it right the first time. If they're like, oh, that was good, I am more of a Star Wars fan. It like starts the conversation. That's what you want. So if you put all that together, you have like your time set aside. You know what you're going to say, when you're going to say, how you're going to say, how you're going to react to the things that come your way in your inbox from inbound calls, and how you're going to manage the day in front of you to stay consistent. Dude, you do 2-3 months of that, you're ramped up real quick. You've maximized your pipeline to the best of your ability. You've gotten a ton of no's and yeses. And when you're able to do that, you're able to make decisions. It's like, damn, well, maybe Ben's setting 120 people a month, but maybe it could be 140. Maybe we should review some of his calls. Or damn, we didn't have enough leads because marketing changed. So now we need to make just a few more dials to make up for that. So if you're not organized, you're just sitting here like, damn, well, how do I even organize to start my day? How do I know who I should call? What do I say when I call him? This guy opted in 2 years ago. Call a spade, Desiree. Like, hey, this is going to be so far out of left field. You filled out your application. It looks like 2 years ago. Do you remember that at all? And you're like, damn, no, I don't. All right, cool. Well, reason for the call is I'm a newer addition to the team, saw the application. Doesn't look like we got an answer from you either way. Is this anything relevant? No. In between? Like, let me know. And you can kind of go from there with the older leads. Like, hey, fall cleaning, spring cleaning, one of the advisors, however you want to position yourself. I like being like, hey, newer addition to the team because they're softer with you. And you can still frame that you know what you're talking about. You're just newer to this team. Like when newer people come into the building, they call the older people to make sure, like, hey, do you get what you need? That's me. So that's how I would carry that. But I wouldn't try to worry about those. I would do 1 week, 30 days, and then anything like 30 to 90 days, really. Past that, if they don't raise their hand to a text blast or a data reactivation, how much intent is there? Now, there's a lot of like giga high level things that you can do. Like you can FaceTime people. Dead ass. I have FaceTime people and set them. Like I got their number from a CRM, no HIPAA compliance. FaceTime rings for 45 seconds, not 30. It's a different ringtone, and you have to silence that. And if a random number FaceTimes you, oh, I almost guarantee you answer. You want to see who it is? And then it's just like prep school Korbin with a couple buttons on 2 different shirts. I'm like, hey, just saw your application come through. Is now a terrible time. But they like see you. It's like, wait, no, it's not a terrible time. Like, I just needed 2 minutes. And you can show them your setup. Like, hey, here's where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. Was that not you? Did someone prank you? It's like so much of a pattern interrupt that they just are permanently in your frame because they're on your FaceTime.
How do you have the confidence to do that?
Dude, I would not. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know you. But I wouldn't do that B2B. I would do that B2C only. I don't know if I'd FaceTime a business owner necessarily out of the blue, but B2C, that works great. If, gosh, there just so many of the coaches that I know, including myself, have done so well with the funny, with the memes, with the ghost, with you can be yourself and be different and follow the script all at the same time. Because you can do the, were you thinking about this at all? Or am I the crazy ex person from high school that you still haven't responded to? Either way, let me know. Direct, funny, follow the script. And do you guys know how many one-liners I get and one-pagers and like promo texts where you can just feel that that's what it is, like the first half of a sentence? Like, what do you want from me? No, I'm not clicking your link. No, I don't want to buy anything from you right now. But if I get a text from you, be like, dude, I've messaged you 10 times with no answer. Is it me? I brush my teeth, I promise. You're going to get a response. And when you get a response, that's when it's game on. And I have a lot of trainings, a lot of coaching calls, a lot of structure around what to do when you get a response. And so on my calls, what I'm trying to do is build out how to get a response and what to do with that response. And then any fork in the road, like what's the price? I just want information. Nah, I already talked to someone. Nah, now's not the right time. We can get around all of those in the DMs. We can get them to a phone call, anything in between. So I meant this to be more of an overview of the totality of that. And we can start to add more nuances for those forks in the road as we continue this month. Does that sound good? Awesome. Well, also, before I forget, there's got a lot of suspense here because I can't get my Slack to open. There is or are a couple of extremely cool, exciting things that I have been working on, that other people I work with have been working on. And I would highly advocate for every one of you to book a 15-minute one-on-one with me either this week or next week so I can show my screen, share with you what that looks like, and see how much more help I can provide to you on your offers. I got permission to start booking some 15-minute one-on-ones with people, so I figured I'd put that in the chat. Let me know if that's broken. I'm pretty confident I fixed that this morning before we hopped in here, but I'm a techie guy. I can fix it on the spot if I need to. And okay. Is everybody sick of me talking now? Should I keep going? I'm kidding. We can really end this however we would like. We've got like 5-8 minutes left or so. I don't really have, like, I had one good video to watch, but it's just an Alex Hormozy short that's just like, you're not as good as you think you are. And sometimes you need tough love. Sometimes you need people to tell you things that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I try to do both. But I'd rather you really like believe and trust in like my message and my positioning and what I say and how I say it before I try to tell you what you need to hear, instead of just coming over the top like an a-hole. It's like, hey, you need to learn this right now. Like there'll be a time where you get a kick in the ass, but that doesn't have to be right now or in front of a big group of people or anything like that. So for right now, for June, we're going to maximize this month with time management, with follow-ups, with really good messaging, and with really good levels of consistency. Max, I know you asked, well, dude, what if you're on 2 different offers? Kevin Gates, 2 phones, brother.
What?
You got Kevin Gates? Yeah, I got 2 phones, one for the, you got 2 phones. So you would have one phone, like your Go High Level, your CRM up for whatever offer you're on, and then you'd have your other one on. And you would probably have more text blasts, and you would probably only focus on the people that raise their hand. And you would want to get to leads within the first like 10 minutes of both offers. So your follow-up is going to look more like text blasts and like end of the day text blasts to try to get people to raise their hand when they're more available. And that's going to look like you taking calls later in the day. Because only so many people are going to be, you only have so much time in the morning. when people are available. And so it's maximizing how many people you can get to be available when it's the back half of the day. And with me, that would be with data activation with text blast, with trying to get people to raise their hand, give you an olive branch to start that conversation. That's what I would do. And if you have tools like ManyChat, like Comment Guard, my God, I could tell you guys till I'm blue in the face, but you can program responses based on what they say. You can have quick text templates. You can have, like me, 33 years old. I'm a caveman sometimes. I just have a doc on the side with all my best one-liners to say to any message, and I have it laid out like that. Like, hey, if they say this, just say this. Hey, if they say that, great, say this. And then when someone onboards, I just give them that document. I'm like, hey, here's what I say, and we're gonna have a one-on-one so I can explain why I say it this way. And then that person's gonna have their own doc of what they say. And it just keeps going that way, right? So there's a level of consistency that's applied throughout. So Maximiliano, if you're on 2 offers, try to have similar consistency. Try to have templates that help you stay organized, because it's way easier for me to highlight something and then Control C, Control V, enter, than like, what should I say to this person right now in the heat of the moment? It's like, well, you've had so many heats of the moments up until this point. Those are all your conversations. So how do you use the information from those conversations? You create templates. You create something that helps you stay organized, structured, and execute more efficiently. Ben, no, you can't have the document. You didn't say please. Sick of your shit. I'm kidding. You can absolutely have it. It's right here. It should be in, I should have put this doc in here, right? And in the community, there will be, Desiree, we met 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks
Yes.
ago, just for like the call recording of that, because we went pretty good, like pretty in depth on your offer specifically, because there was a lot for us to be able to help with. Not to call you out or using as example, that's just really helpful. So if people want more context and want the website that I use for memes and generating memes and stuff, I have that in the doc that we helped Desiree with 2 weeks ago. So that would be, what is today? The 5th? That would be the 22nd. So anyone that's in the community, if you go to the 22nd of Korbin's coaching calls, there will be another layer of what to say during your follow-ups, like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, day 6. And then like where I generate my memes and messaging and like how I send it. So you guys will have access to all of those things as well. The one-liner doc, I have like a third of a one-liner doc that's in the community as well, but most of it's up here. The problem with that, what gets me stuck is when I try to think of what someone else wants me to say. Because then I'm like not listening to the conversation. I'm thinking, well, what does Ben, my boss, want me to say to this person when they say this? I'm just confused. So if I'm Korbin and I talk like Korbin and I think like Korbin because I am Korbin, it's easier to have a conversation like Korbin. So it might not be the best for Elias, for Maximiliano, for Vicky, for Ben, for Desiree, for Dimitri to say something that Korbin would say. Because then when you get on the phone, you act totally different than what you said as if you were Korbin. Because if you're coming off the top with like smiley faces and emojis and crazy X texts, and then you get on the phone and it's like a super direct monotone, like, here's my frame, you're going to follow me. You're like, what was that text I just got? Something's off there. So you want to have continuity between like who you are and your messaging. So my one-liners might help. I think it would help more in providing an insight to like how I think to say what I say, rather than for you to just take it and use it. You can. I will never have a coaching call where I say you need to do what I do because what I did worked really well for me for a lot of different reasons. And I'm here to try and help you guys make it your reasons why this framework is successful. So past this, if there are specific questions, nuances, things that maybe I didn't account for that are very relevant on your offer, take screenshots, send me a Loom video. You have me on Facebook, you have me in the school community. And there's a couple of things that I would like to share that I'm really excited about. And if you book a one-on-one with me, more than happy to share my screen and kind of walk through what that looks like. Guys, we made it on time for the first call in like 13 coaching calls. I don't need a round of applause or anything, but I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because it's 11. Vicky, you're probably like, Corbin, what are you doing? Vicky, I go till 12:21 almost every time. So today we didn't, and I'm proud of myself for that. Hey, thanks for all of you guys who joined. I know some of you guys I sent the link on Facebook. I know some of you guys I see a lot more on a regular basis with things that are going on, but I like helping how I can. If you need anything from me, I'm available this week. Saturday, I'm doing a podcast and playing golf with my fiance. Sunday, I'm working because I take Saturdays off. Can't reach me on Saturday, sorry. Unless your name's Olivier Auguste and you FaceTime me on Facebook and I answer because that was hilarious. Anyways, I told you guys FaceTiming or audioing on Facebook is such a powerful tool. I've had people in the community do it to me just to be funny because I told them it worked and I answered and they laughed. Like, Corbin, you answered, it worked. And I was like, shit, you're right. So if you ever need to get a hold of someone, I gotta do that to Jonas Khan. He's been dodging me for a couple days. He's been super busy. I guarantee if I audioed him on Facebook right now, he'd probably answer. I don't know what time it is for him, so I'm not gonna do that. But see, right, like those things work with humans. I FaceTimed Jared Harris last week. He's like shirt off at the gym working out, and he answered. I was like, haha, it works on you too. And he was just like, damn, it does. Jared's running like 4 businesses over there and automating everything and is such a strong closer and operations manager and has so many things on his plate, but he answered my FaceTime. And I was just proving a point. I didn't have anything to say. Just like, it works. You answered. So I might be a little bit goofy. My delivery might be a little bit sideways, but not a lot of people's are. A lot of people's are too direct or too bland or too boring. There's not enough there. So you can be yourself and you feel good about it. You can laugh about it and get someone else to share that with you. You build more trust. You have more conversations. And you want to do that when people can actually answer the damn phone. And I hope today was helpful to explain and expand on all those things. You guys are all awesome. If you need anything from me, I'll be around. Have a phenomenal rest of your week and enjoy the weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Korbin.
Mr. Corbin.
Thanks, Corbin.
Of course. Of course. Adolfo, I'll see you in the parking lot for unmuting and messing up my call, though. I will not forget that. I'm kidding. Me and Adolfo are friends. I'll see him at the flagpole at 4 o'clock. Later, guys.
Yeah.